As we stand in the midst of a smoke-filled room, it's hard not to wonder, when did ancient humans start smoking? The answer takes us back thousands of years. Archaeologists have found evidence of ancient humans using psychoactive plants, including tobacco, dating back to around 5000 BC. This was during the Neolithic period, a time when humans were transitioning from a nomadic, hunter-gatherer lifestyle to one that was more sedentary and agricultural. The use of these plants was often tied to spiritual and religious practices, with many cultures believing that the smoke carried prayers to the gods. In many ancient cultures, smoking was a ritualistic practice, used to communicate with the spirits, to heal, and to bring people together. The earliest known evidence of tobacco use comes from the Americas, where it was first domesticated. From there, it spread to other parts of the world, carried by traders, travelers, and colonizers. By the time the Europeans arrived in the Americas, tobacco was already a deeply ingrained part of the culture, used in ceremonies, as a form of currency, and as a recreational substance. The Europeans, however, took tobacco back to their own continent, where it became a popular luxury item among the wealthy. As trade routes expanded, tobacco spread to other parts of the world, including Africa and Asia. In these regions, tobacco was often mixed with other substances, such as opium and hashish, to create unique blends. The practice of smoking, however, was not without its critics. Many ancient cultures believed that smoking was a corrupting influence, leading people away from their traditional ways of life. In ancient China, for example, smoking was seen as a barbaric practice, associated with the nomadic tribes that lived on the outskirts of the empire. Despite these criticisms, smoking continued to spread, becoming an integral part of many cultures around the world. By the 16th century, tobacco had become a major cash crop in many parts of the world, with millions of people relying on it for their livelihood. The impact of smoking on human health, however, was not fully understood until much later. It wasn't until the 20th century, with the advent of modern medicine, that the dangers of smoking became widely recognized. Today, we know that smoking is a leading cause of preventable death, responsible for millions of deaths each year. And yet, despite these dangers, smoking remains a deeply ingrained part of many cultures, a testament to the enduring power of this ancient habit. As we look back on the history of smoking, it's clear that this practice has been shaped by a complex array of factors, including culture, economics, and technology. From its origins in ancient America to its current status as a global phenomenon, smoking has evolved over time, reflecting the changing values and priorities of human societies. The story of smoking is a complex one, full of contradictions and paradoxes. On the one hand, smoking has been a source of pleasure and relaxation for millions of people, a way to socialize and connect with others. On the other hand, it has also been a major public health hazard, responsible for untold suffering and death. As we move forward, it's clear that we need to find a way to balance these competing interests, to acknowledge the cultural significance of smoking while also protecting public health. This will require a nuanced and multifaceted approach, one that takes into account the complex history and cultural context of smoking. By understanding the origins and evolution of this practice, we can work towards a future where smoking is no longer a major threat to human health. The journey to this future will be long and difficult, but it's one that we must undertake, for the sake of our own well-being and that of future generations. As we stand in the midst of this smoke-filled room, we are reminded of the enduring power of smoking, a habit that has been with us for thousands of years. And yet, even as we acknowledge this power, we must also recognize the dangers of smoking and work towards a future where this practice is no longer a major threat to human health.